2, 1. All right, we are ready to go. Welcome, everyone. My name is Abel Prieto, coming to you live from Miami, Florida. And man, these are exciting times at InCruises. I've been here since January 2016. We just celebrated our 9th year anniversary since we launched our incredible company out of Miramar, Florida, which is right down the block. We were at Frank's house. It was Frank and Hutch and Kenny and Laz and some of the team members from the development team. And I believe Keegan was there. And it's crazy that 9 years have gone by since we launched it to the world. Later this year, in a few months, we're going to be celebrating our 10-year anniversary from the moment the company was incorporated. But it's incredible that it's been 9 years. So congratulations, happy anniversary to InCruises. And we're going to get the year started with an event in Miami. It'll be this Saturday, right down the way from here, from where I'm at now, about 15, 20 minutes from me in Doral, Florida. We're going to have Erwin Zagarra, who's about to become a senior marketing director, Rodrigo Carvajal coming in from Andorra, Edwin's coming in from Barcelona. We're going to have Oscar Rubio, who's an old friend of mine, Director Jonathan Diaz. He's got a great team. He just became a regional director. And then finally, we're going to have a board of directors from Kazakhstan, Zarina. Her story is amazing. If you're in Miami, well, we're sold out already. We were expecting to do a small event. We got a lot of interest from a lot of different teams from around the South Florida and Florida area. And we are sold out. We're looking to see if we can add some more tickets, but it's going to be tough. But we are sold out, and Zarina is going to be joining us. It's not every day you get to hear directly from a board of directors, someone who's achieved the highest ranks of the company. And that's going to be this Saturday. From registration starts at 10 a.m. The event for partners starts from 11 to 2. We're going to do some great partner training. We're going to do some recognition. Then we take a break from 2 to 4. And then at 4, we're doing a business presentation for new guests. Partners, have to buy tickets. Again, those are sold out. But if you've got brand new people that you want to have come to the 4 o'clock business presentation, new guests don't pay. So we look forward to seeing you there. And we're putting a very big emphasis on making sure that we do more events in the Miami or in the South Florida area starting in 2025. So many people want to build a business here. And for those of us who are fortunate enough to be here, we're going to take advantage of that opportunity because we believe that the U.S. is that final frontier for InCruises. And we're going to do some great things. So I look forward to seeing you this Saturday. We're putting the final touches on recognition. We're putting the final touches on presentations, on banners, and a lot of great things that we have in store for those of you that are able to show up. So I look forward to seeing you this Saturday, January 25th. Let me go ahead and clean the, man, I don't know why this camera constantly gets dirty. I mean, I don't touch it, so I don't understand what's going on. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. All right, let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. So today I really want to give you some basics on what you need to do in 2025. We're not going to get so theoretical. We're going to get into some basics so that you guys know exactly what it takes to grow a business. But I want to start off with a question. I believe I asked this question a few weeks ago because it's something that I've really been thinking about a lot lately. And my question to you is, what are you willing to get used to? I want you to ask yourself that question. What have I gotten used to? What am I willing to get used to? A lot of things in life are common, but it doesn't mean they have to be normal. I remember when I was struggling in business, I was a young 20-year-old entrepreneur who had no business being in business, knew nothing about nothing, but I decided to take the plunge and become an entrepreneur and go under the wing of my great friend and our co-founder, Frank Codina, here in Miami. I remember I was struggling. I was having a hard time paying my bills. I was not traveling. I was not living a dream life. And I was kind of getting used to it because I would look around me and I saw a bunch of people, maybe like you, maybe you look around you and you see people that have pretty much just gotten used to. They've become okay with just, getting by. I remember on Mondays, I would talk to fellow employees at my last job before I became an entrepreneur, and people just look down on Mondays. They got used to just being down on Mondays. When you ask, let me know if this is the way it works in your part of the world, but when you would ask someone, hey, how you doing on Monday, they'd be like, oh, same old, same old. Oh, taking it one day at a time, same day, different stuff. Or they use another S word, right? And people just got used to it. And then Wednesdays became a little bit better because it's hump day. You're on your way to Friday. Fridays were amazing. Saturdays were delightful. Sundays were incredible right up to about 7:30 p.m. when the sun started going down, and then people, they began to change, and they started feeling a little weird ache in their stomach, and why? Because they knew they had to go back to Monday. And I remember looking around me, and so many people they had gotten used to living that kind of life, and I made a decision early on to not be used to it. And I decided to work hard and start living a good life. And I said, wow, I like this. And I got used to that. And I said, I don't ever want to go back to that old life. So I want you to know what it takes to get used to the good things, to get used to having a lot of money, to get used to living a life where, all your decisions aren't based on money, where you can go to a restaurant and read the menu from left to right instead of from right to left, where you can go to a shoe store and grab a shoe off the rack, and what do most people do? Let me look at the bottom, right? Because that's normally where the price is, and then see if they like the shoe, instead of just grabbing the shoe you like and just putting it on and saying, I want this shoe. See, a lot of people have gotten used to living the bad life, but I want to help you start living the good life so that then you can make the same decision I made. The decision I made was, man, I kind of like it. I want to get used to this. So what does it take, and what have you gotten used to, or what are you willing to get used to? I remember I was talking to a friend of mine years ago, and she was the manager. She was actually the general manager. She was in charge of several Kentucky Fried Chicken locations, KFC locations. I know they have that in Palma de Mallorca. I don't know if they have it all around the world, but KFC, they make fried chicken, it's a real tough job, right? And she told me that she noticed that a lot of the people that worked in the back in the kitchen, washing all the pots and the pans and the dishes, they would stick their hands in water that was almost boiling, and nothing, it wouldn't hurt them because their hands had grown so callous that they wouldn't even feel the hot boiling water. And it was something that maybe she would put her hand in, and half a second she had to take her hand out. Maybe you and I would put our hands in that hot water in that kitchen, and we'd have to take it out immediately. And she saw these dishwashers, these men and women would just, it was why? Because they had gotten used to it. What are you willing to get used to? Well, I want to make sure that I give you some advice, some tips, but some simple advice. I'm not going to get too theoretical with you today. Some simple things that if you just made a decision to follow on a daily basis for the rest of this year, which is already 3 weeks old, then you can get used to living the good life. Number one, this should be your goal in 2025. Go get 50 wide. Man, I remember Frank Odina telling me that so many times. He said, Abel, you want to fix all your problems? Go get wide. You want to make more money? Go get wide. You want your team to do great numbers? Lead by your example. Exampleship is the greatest source of leadership. Go get wide. Go get directs. Go show people it works. Go prove to people it works. But that number is 50. 50 to 100, but let's say 50. Go get 50 wide in 2025. You don't have to do it all in one day. That's about one a week. 3 to 4 presentations per week, and you're going to go get 50 wide. You're going to get about 1 new partner member per week. Some of those will be premium, some of those will be classic, some of those will be starter. But go get 50 wide. Go get 50 wide. Why? Because the average board of directors, guess what? They're at about 53 wide. Let me give you some numbers for you to memorize. Number one, the senior marketing directors, they're about 10 wide. I'm sorry, marketing directors, they're about 10 wide. You want to become a marketing director? You're going to basically guarantee you a marketing director rank with the bonus and residuals and other forms of compensation if you go get 10 wide. There are very few marketing directors or people in cruises that have gotten 10 wide who are not marketing directors, because that will more or less pretty much almost guarantee the 3,000, which is not a lot of money, in volume that you're going to need in your team downline and through their people and their people's people. So go get 10 wide if you want to become a marketing director, but chances are if you're here, you want more than that. You want to become a senior marketing director? In the company, the average senior marketing director is 14 wide. You want to become a regional director? The average regional director is 16 wide. You want to become a national director? 20 wide. You want to become an international director? Go get 30 wide. You want to become an executive director? Go get 40 wide. And if you want to become a board of directors and go make a 6-figure per month income, go get 50, 53 wide. Now, worst case scenario, you're like me. You become an international director making 20, 30,000 plus on a monthly basis, and I'm about 50 wide. I'm 50 something wide. So worst case scenario, and I think it's a pretty good worst case scenario, is if you don't become a board of directors after getting 50 wide, chances are at least at a minimum, you'll become an international director, making 20, 25, $30,000 plus with the leadership bonus, residuals, with the builder's base bonus and other forms of compensation. Go get 50 wide. That's about one a week, 3 to 4 presentations a week. How do you get on 3 to 4 presentations a week? Well, you're going to have to talk to about 15, 20, 25 people per week. You're going to have to prospect. You're going to have to talk to some people. See, in our business, you got to be a leader and you got to be a player. You got to be a coach and a player. You got to be a coach player, a player coach, a leader player, a player leader, right? You got to lead. You got to do what you're asking people to do. And chances are that they're going to go do it. They're going to go do it. But my number one goal for you is do everything in your power. It starts with prospecting enough people, building a contact list, however you want to do that, whether it be through social media, paid ads on Instagram or Facebook, contacting your Facebook friends, redoing your list, contacting your friends and family, following up with people you haven't spoken to in a while. You've got people. And if you don't have them, you can find them. There are 8 billion people on this planet. Go get 50 wide in 2025. Go get 3 to 4 presentations per week. You know, you want me to know how successful you are? Show me your calendar for the last week. Show me your agenda. Show me your calendar. How many presentations did you give? How many people did you talk to? Not your team. You got to talk to them, but I'm talking about new people. Go get 50 wide. Go get 50 wide in 2025. How do you do that? You got to give about 200 to 250 presentations this year. That's about 3 to 4 presentations per week. It's not a big deal. We're not asking you. I mean, I just saw a thing on Instagram where the guy broke the world record for the highest dive. He was 17 stories up. And the guy did a back dive and landed in the water. If he could do that, you can go get 50 wide. Years ago, I saw this guy, this Red Bull extreme sports guy. He jumped from outer space and landed on Earth. He was outside of Earth, up there where it's black space, and he jumped off and he went 800 miles per hour down to Earth. He broke the sound barrier and he landed. You're going to tell me that guy could do that, but you can't go get 50 wide in 2025? Come on, man. You got to lead from the front until you don't have to do it anymore. Now, for example, some of you might think, well, Abel, you don't have to do this anymore. You're international director. Yeah, but I want to do it. I'm doing it because I don't want to be an international director. I want to be a board of directors. I want to know what that feels like. And when you do it, then you can point at your success and talk about how you did it. Wouldn't you love to be able to point at your success and talk about how you did it? Instead of thinking and visualizing and thinking of a future where maybe one day you get the guts, the cojones to go and do it. No, man, just do it. And don't wait till next year. Do it in 2025. That's what it takes. Go get 50 wide. Stop thinking about it. Thinking about it is harder than doing it. Go do it. Go make a list. Go talk to people. However it is you want to do that. Go give 3 to 4 presentations, and then you can talk about how great it feels to be somebody. And then you'll point to your success and say, hey, if I did it, you can do it. And by the way, if you get promoted to international executive or board of directors, you're changing lives along the way. How do you do that? You got to prioritize it. You got to put it in your schedule. You got to do it first. You got to focus on not only yearly or monthly goals, but weekly and daily goals. That's the way you do it. So number one tip, it's a simple one. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple. Go get 50 wide. Are you guys with me? Let me know if you're listening to me. Let me know if I'm just talking to myself. I got Alex here, Glory, Johan, I got Shelly, I got Miguel, I got a bunch of people from different parts of the world. Is this stuff making sense? I'm not going to sit here and tell you about things that I haven't done. This is what I've done. Best case, you'll be a board of directors. Worst case, you'll be an international director. An international director is not a bad place to be. If you're brand new, if you still need help, use your upline. Use your upline. Let them help you. Stop waiting on your upline to communicate with you. You communicate with your upline. It's your business, not theirs. They have their business. Yeah, you're part of their business and they're there for you, but use your upline. Now, that being said, it's going to have to get to the point where you do it yourself. You got to do it yourself. The only way to do something, to learn how to do something, is by going out and do it. And if you're an upline, remember this, you're a facilitator. You're like a conductor in an orchestra. You know, you got to be patient with your people. If you're an upline, you got to be patient with your people. You're not their boss. And while you're patient with your people, leading them, keep leading them with your example and keep getting more people. Remember, man, when I heard this, it changed my life. I remember probably the first person that told me this was Frank Codina, our co-founder. He said, Abel, you're one recruit away from an explosion. See, because when you're small, when your team isn't growing, or when your momentum is not on your side, when you're kind of dead in the water, and some of you are not, some of you are having great success. Congratulations. But, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. It's going to take some time. But, you know, when you're not there and you remember this, you say, man, I'm one presentation away from my life changing forever. I'm one recruit away from an explosion. They're out there. They're waiting for you. They're looking for an opportunity. All you got to do is go find them, but you got to be willing to do what? To work the numbers. See, because if you work the numbers will work for you. One of the things I love about network marketing is that it's a numbers business. It is a numbers business. If you want the results, you got to put in the numbers. That's the way it goes. You got to go through the no's to get the yeses. Remember, we are in the sorting business. Don't worry so much about closing people. You know, Mark Aceta reminded me about this. The other day, I saw a video he did on Instagram. And Mark Aceta is a former 7-figure income earner in 2 or 3 network marketing companies. Now he's a coach and a public speaker. He helps a lot of people. He's one of my mentors. And, you know, one of the questions they asked him was, how do I become a better closer? You know, what are the right words to close people, to get them started, you know, to close the sale or to close the recruit, close the partner member. And he said, look, there's things I can tell you, but the best thing I can tell you is knowing that while you're doing that presentation, you've got 10 more presentations to do. When you go into that presentation with that type of mindset where you're looking at this person and you're saying, man, I feel bad for you if you say no to me. I feel bad for you if you don't let me close you. I think you should be closing me. I think you should close yourself. And when you go into presentations with that type of attitude, like, hey man, if it ain't you, it could be him or her or him or her. That's the best way you close. You got to be willing to go through the numbers. We're in the sorting business. All we do is collect decisions. We are in the giving presentations business. And remember this, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And more importantly, remember, you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. Trust me, I've given presentations where I'm like, oh my God, I wish someone would have recorded me. Wow, the perfect presentation. I asked all the right questions. I told my personal story. I gave examples of people winning. I sold the compensation plan. I sold the benefits of our product. I did closing questions. And you know what they said? No, not for me. Not interested. No, thank you. No, thank you. I got to think about it. Got to talk to my wife. Got to talk to my kids. Got to talk to God. Got to pray on it. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. You can't say the wrong thing to the wrong person. So I told you last week or the week before, you got to become emotionally unattached to the result and simply become emotionally attached to working the numbers. And only through massive activity will you ever get better. That is it. In 2025, what am I telling you to do? Go get 50 wide. Go give 200 to 250 presentations, maybe 300. You go get 50 wide. Worst case, you'll be an international director. Best case, you'll be a board of directors. And with today's in cruises, where it's not like when I got started, where there was no leadership you can point to, there were no results, there were no people traveling the world, there were no people going on cruises, taking pictures, there were no social media pages. It was just us believing in what could happen. And with today's in cruises, with the premium plan and the starter plan and the classic plan and unlimited residuals and all these bonuses and all these ranks and all these people having success, my God, if you're not making it right now, it says you don't want it bad enough. You got to want it bad enough. Go do the work. Go work the numbers. Go give presentations. I'm not asking you to go give 200 to 300 presentations this week. I'm telling you to go get 4 or 5. I'm telling you to talk to 20 to 25 people this week. You know, that's 3 to 4 people per day. I mean, you compare that to the kind of jobs that people do in our military or construction workers, people working on high rises, people risking their lives, you know, surgeons operating on people's brains and their hearts, and nurses and emergency room workers and that's hard. This, all you gotta do is talk to people. You talk to them, they talk to you, you talk back, they talk to you, you tell a story, you show them a presentation, they say yes or they say no. They go away, next. That's what we do. That is what we do. What is my mission? My mission is to create the biggest team of the most successful leaders in all of network marketing. And I'm already on pace to doing that. I just want to do it with more people. I want you to become one of those successful people on my team. So let me give you a tip. Number 2, focus on one goal at a time and become obsessed with achieving that goal. You have to become obsessed with getting things done. You have to become obsessed with taking things off your to-do list. You got to become obsessed with completing tasks. You got to become obsessed with procrastinating on procrastination. You got to become goal obsessed. You got to become obsessed with getting things done. But focus on one goal at a time. Focus on one goal at a time. In my prior company before In Cruises, I worked with Frank Odina. And it took me 4 years and 4 months to become, you know, in that company, what would be a board of directors, okay? 4 years and 4 months. But when people would ask me, it's like, oh, wow, Abel, you did it, but it took you 4 years and 4 months. I would tell them, no, it took me about 4 months because about 4 months ago, I made a real decision. I decided that I was going to do this in 4 months. And then I put the work forward to make that happen. So you got to make a decision. You have to make a decision. You have to decide. Decide. You know, the suffix IDE, "ide" in the English language means to put to death. Homicide, suicide, pesticide. You're putting to death. When you decide, you're putting to death all other options. And it took me 4 years to get to that point. But 4 months later, I was at the top rank with that company. See, a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I have 10 years of experience in network marketing. Or, oh, Abel, here, I want to bring you a guy so you can talk to him. He's got 15 years of experience in network marketing or 20 years of experience. No, most people, they don't have 20 years of experience. What they have is 1 year of experience repeated 20 times. See, maybe you've been in our company 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. Do you have 5 years of experience that increases? Or is it really 1 year repeated 5 times? It's time to make a change, and you have to decide. You got to make a decision. You got to get to a point where you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's what it takes. That's what it takes. If you want to go change your life, if you want to live a dream life, if you want to be able to point back and tell people, this is what I did to get to where I'm at, then this is what it's going to take. You got to focus on getting 50 wide in 2025, break it down for the year, break it down per month, break it down per week, per day, work a disciplined schedule, prioritize making contacts, prospecting, doing a list, however it is you want to do that. You know, I remember when I was a brand new person in network marketing, and I did what everyone does, right? This was before social media, emails, right? I mean, I'm that old, right? I know I don't look it, thank you. But Frank Codina never had to tell me how to or where to find people. Because I'm like, I have a brain. If I want something bad enough, I'm going to go do it. All I knew is that there were about 7 billion people in the world. And back then we didn't have the ways of contacting that now you can pay for ads on Instagram and Instagram sends you leads. Go look at that. You can spend $10 a day, $10 a day. And Instagram sends you leads, people that are interested in your business. You can do sales funnels. You can go talk to people in person. You can redo your list. You can talk to your friends on Facebook. There are so many things that you have now that I didn't have when I got started. So go make it happen. I believe in you. I look forward to seeing all of you that can make it this Saturday, 10 a.m. At our Miami 2025 event with Oscar and Erwin and Rodri and Zarina and myself. We're going to have a great time. We're going to have fun. We're going to recognize people. We're going to motivate you, inspire you. We're going to instruct you on how to become successful. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to go get the job done. Love you guys. I'll see you next week. Let's have a great, productive week. Go talk to some people. Go get presentations. Remember, don't worry so much about closing. Just worry about increasing the numbers, working the numbers, and the numbers will work for you. Love you guys. Take care.